Charles Haley. You're listening to Nothing But Niners.
This is Kyle Juszczyk, and you're listening to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hearst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, sweeps to his right, gets to the 20. He's in the 30, needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline, breaks a hard tackle, comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! 49ers! 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hearst breaking tackle after tackle, sweeps down the sideline. Throws off bodies like clothes after a marathon.
Young, back to throw. In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, cuts back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He died. Touchdown, 49ers.
Third down, Alex takes the snap. Alex looking, got it, post, and it's good. Touchdown! Touchdown, 49ers!
It is second down. Ryan takes the snap, throws the slant to the left side. It's Russell, intercepted! The 49ers pick it, and Navarro Bowman is redemption! Navarro Bowman running it all the way for the touchdown! No greater redemption!
The San Francisco 49ers, we can do whatever we want.
Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Mike from the Nothing But Niners crew. Guys, I am so excited, man. Football is finally here. Everything that is said and done from this point forward will have a direct effect on the outcome of Game 1. So I want to first shout out the Patreonians over here, the Patreon community. You guys have been nothing but gracious and patient with me, and I sincerely appreciate it. So this season, I am looking forward to doing something. Every other month, I want to do a giveaway. All right, and I want you guys to hold me to it every other month. All right, so we're not going to do one in September. Let's see how things go for the month of September. But in October, I want to do a giveaway at the end of October. All right, I don't care if it's a jersey giveaway or something, but you guys let me know what it is. Maybe, we'll start with a jersey giveaway. All right, you guys let me know your size and all that. We'll get it ordered up and shipped directly to you. All right, but I want to thank the Patreon community for being as supportive as you guys have, all right? Now, listen, it is officially game day. We are live on Patreon, and the 49ers, the 49ers are taking the field on Sunday, man. This Sunday, we actually have a game that means something, that counts. We finally get to see what all the planning and the scheming was all about all along, and that's really, really exciting to me, all right? Tonight is Thursday night. Now, if you guys are watching this on the rewatch on YouTube, this will probably be coming out Saturday morning, all right? But this is going to be a presser breakdown. We heard from Robert Saleh, Clay Kubiak, and Brock Purdy today. And then yesterday we heard from Kyle Shanahan. I want to get to all four of those pressers, all right? I just want to hear what those guys have to say. We want to hear from the leader of the defense. We want to hear from the leader, the field general, right, Brock Purdy. We want to hear from the play caller and the man himself and the head coach of the team. Now, what we're going to hear from Clay Kubiak will all be bonus. I don't know. I'm excited to get to it, though, so let's go ahead without further ado. Let's see what Clay Kubiak has to say along with Robert Saleh. Now, I know that this is a little bit backed off here.
To that decision for Sunday.
All right, so here
given
we go.
the time that he missed, and then obviously
It's going to be fun to get.
All right, so it looks like Robert Saleh was up there a little bit longer than I thought. Let me get the closed captions on here. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon.
How are you feeling about your young defensive linemen, where they've
no
how far
close
they've
captions,
come? And I know they didn't get a lot of preseason snaps, but
Well, they better have fresh legs then. But no, this past couple of practices have been really good. Feel fast. Like I said, it's going to be fun to get those guys out there and see how we do.
Coach, likelihood that Upton Stout would be starting given the time that he missed, and then.
By the way, that was already a shot, right? Like, you guys didn't play much. You better not be tired. You better have fresh legs. I already like the mode and the mood that Robert Saleh is in. Back to not being shaven, right? So he shaved last week, didn't shave this week. I like it. My man is locked in and focused.
Obviously, before then, he was doing great, but then he missed some time.
Upton Stout question.
Is he for sure possibly going to be starting in that position?
We'll see. we still have another couple of days of preparation. I think we have a general idea of how this can play out, but whatever little advantage it might give, we'll just hold on to that decision for Sunday.
The offensive system they put in place, how similar are you expecting it to be what's run here?
For sure. There's similarities, but like everyone who's a disciple of, I grew up in the Seattle Seahawk cover 3 system as created by Gus Bradley, who happens to be in the building, and he kind of branched off and kind of made it my own deal. So I'm sure Koob over there has done the same thing. He's got some nuance to what he does that's a little bit different. While you see similarities, there's things that have his hallmark touch on it.
Which would be, you'd expect them to really emphasize the running game out the gates to see if you guys can handle it?
Yeah, you'd expect that, but it's really, whatever they feel is fit for that game plan. They've got a fantastic O-line coach in John Benton, who we had at the Jets with us too, and we're all familiar with here with the Niners. So they're, even Rico Dennison, who's a really good O-line coach, is also there. So they're very well coached. You can see it on tape. They're athletic up front, and they do a really good job executing their zone scheme.
So many teams in your division now.
And again, Robert Saleh shows you just how ready he is for this moment. It's not just about the players, but the coaching staff that's over there as well. And he knows, he's familiar with them guys. This is something that I wasn't aware of. The offensive line coach was with the Jets. He's got that familiarity. He knows what they do. He knows what they struggle with. So this could be a pretty good game for the Niners, all right? I like that. I like that a lot.
Run the outside zone. Did that, come into play when you were talking about Michael Williams and his value and what he might be good at?
There are several things with Michael. We're rebuilding a defensive line. Michael is, we look at him as an outside guy on first and second down, similar in the way Armstead was, and then you kick him inside, at least the early years of Armstead, and then give him a chance to go rush the passer. We think he's got a chance to be a really good interior pass rusher. But yeah, Michael's athletic enough on the edge. He's long enough. He can set edges. He can handle those double teams. Tight ends are going to be at a severe disadvantage with him. So you feel good about him setting edges on the outside and making sure that ball stays funneled to the linebackers. So it's all encompassing. He's just a really, really, really good football player who's got a really high ceiling. So again, one of those rookies who really has missed a lot of time during training camp, but we're excited to see him play and grow throughout the year.
How much has Sam Darnold improved over the last few years, and what is he doing well at this point?
A lot. We played him last year when I was with the Jets in London, and just studying his tape, he's very confident. He is a playmaker. Last year he proved that he could be a good decision maker also. He took care of the football. He got the ball to his playmakers, and I think the scheme just fits him. Kevin O'Connell did a great job, and I think him coming up to Seattle, being in the same system is going to be good for him. You can tell even in the one drive that they had, just complete command of the offense, getting those guys in and out of the huddle with tempo. And I mean, they were flawless in their execution on that one drive they had against Kansas City. So he's improved greatly, especially from, even though I never got a chance to coach him at the Jets, the background of when I arrived to what you see is very different.
Of this all offseason, but why you were brought here. You also said that you could see as many as 6 rookies starting. Probably didn't get the amount of playing time in the exhibition season you would have liked with them. So how do you kind of big picture overall rate things right now with the expectation probably that you get better as the season wears on?
Put your seatbelt on, enjoy the ride, man. It's gonna be a lot of ups and downs, a lot of really cool moments, a lot of hair pulling moments, but they're good kids. They work hard.
Hair pulling moments.
They're fast. They're violent. They love the game of football. They're ready to play. And, they're ready for that.
Along with that, Robert, you used the phrase "we'll see" a fair number of times leading up to this. What is that like for you as a coach? I'm sure there's a certain amount of "we'll see" anytime you go into week one, but this year in particular with so many new pieces, what is that like for you?
The growth part, there's because you never know, right? Like you can go into a season, and I would imagine just talking to Kyle, it's when when the roster is veteran-like and it's been together for a while, you just know you're going to kick the living ever daylights out of people. And when you're young and you got a bunch of new faces, you have confidence that you will, and you're just excited for the affirmation, if that makes sense. And you see it in the practice field. We saw it against the Raiders in practice. We saw it with Denver. Just the competitive spirit and the guys getting after it. And so obviously the regular season is a whole completely different speed. But it's going to be exciting to go through the process with them, because it's not going to be the same at the end of the year. These kids are going to get better, especially with reps. They're only going to get faster. They're only going to get stronger. But through the whole process, like I said, you just don't know until you know. And this is just one of those deals where we're excited to see the affirmations come to life.
Demo is a new team captain this year. I realize you weren't here when he got here, but in terms of his leadership, what are some examples of stuff that you've noticed throughout camping to this point?
I think first, you always want to see how somebody approaches the game, and you want your leaders to be deliberate. You want your leaders to be your hardest workers. You want your leaders to.
This was an excellent question, by the way. A phenomenal question. We always want to know what the new guy thinks of a guy that's not one of his guys. And so I thought this was a great question. I'm going to rewind it just a little bit so we can hear it again from the beginning. But this was a solid question here. What does Robert Saleh think of Diamador Lenoir?
I think first, you always want to see how somebody approaches the game, and you want your leaders to be deliberate. You want your leaders to be your hardest workers. You want your leaders to lead by example with regard to regen and rehab and working out and taking care of their bodies, their eating habits, their study habits, and just observing them through that. He doesn't have to say a word, and I can tell you right now that he's already a leader in that regard. He's very deliberate in his approach. He's very intentional. Every rep is very important to him. And then on top of it, you see him talking to guys. He's got an energy to him. His teammates love him. He's a dog on the football field in terms of his physicality and his desire to compete. So pumped for him. Like I said, this is my first exposure to him, and he's every bit of what you would expect a captain to look like.
Robert, two more guys. Someone like Bosa, who everyone talks about how advanced he was coming into the NFL, and that was like in effect your only season with him. When you come back and you see him, is it like he looks like the same guy, or is he like added things or done things to where he's like a far different player?
Another good question. You had Nick Bosa's rookie season. Now that he's returned, does he look any different to you? Now, this is a trick question because Nick Bosa was good his first season, and whatever. With Robert Saleh, he was really good. And so now this is a trick question, right? You don't want to say, obviously, that he got worse. And I don't think any of us – well, there are some people that think he got worse, myself being one of them. But I want to see how Robert answers this because he's not going to say he got worse, right? So you want to know in what areas he's improved in, and Robert Saleh, having him all offseason, will have a real opportunity to give us some insight as to what improvements we can see from Nick Bosa.
He's definitely added stuff. His rookie year, I'd never seen a D lineman make so many tackles just whiff before, like the way he did. I mean, it was bizarre. And I remember standing on the podium because, God bless Joe Staley, couldn't block him the entire training camp. And I was like, well, eventually he will. He's a veteran. I was like, well, he still hasn't touched him, But he's. You just know guys like him, his pedigree and the way he was raised and the way he approached the game his entire life. Like he's always trying to find nuance to his game to help him get better. And really pumped for him. And I don't want to say. I mean, he's always going to have big years. I'm looking forward to seeing how this one plays out for him.
Said that all the young guys in the locker room have changed the attitude. I know you weren't here last year, but do you feel that youthful energy from all the young guys in there?
I can't compare it to years past. What I could tell you is that whenever there's an injection of youth, like they don't know any better. They haven't been scarred by the business part of it. They haven't been scarred by the playing time. They just I mean, they make them, an average 2-yard gain, and they're jumping around like they made a 4th-and-1 stop to win the Super Bowl, and it's just that juice and that energy. They're just, their love of football shines in their habits because everything is fresh and new to them. And that does kind of trickle down, and it does rub off on all the veterans. It's like, I mean, you can compare it to an old dog getting a little puppy in the house. That old dog's gonna get up and get ready to go. It's gonna have a little extra juice to it. So yeah, young guys are fun. Like I said, though, they make mistakes, but they go 100 miles an hour doing it. They bring a lot of juice. They make it fun, and like I said, we're looking forward to seeing them play.
That was excellent by Robert Saleh, man. Round of applause. What a great comparison he made there, talking about, he compared it to an older dog, and then you see the puppy, right? If you get a puppy, I've done it before. I've seen it. All right, enough. I've seen it, right, where you will have a puppy introduced to an old dog or an older dog, and you can see the older dog just starting to get more and more energy, trying to keep up with the puppy, or the puppy getting on the old dog's nerves, and finally he's getting more energy because he's got to get that dog off of him or whatever, That was a fantastic analogy that Robert Saleh made. So I think that was really, really good. And we're going to continue with this. I'm not going to drag this out because, like I said, I do want to get to the Shanahan one. And now we're going to bring up Clay Kubiak here. So let's see what he has to say.
How's it going?
Just want to know, one, how less stressful is it going into week one, knowing that Jauan Jennings is on the better side of possibly being out there, given the cap, given the contract negotiations that are now done? How does it feel to have him out there?
Great. Yeah, less stressful to have Jauan out there, a great player, big part of our team. Nothing like seeing his smiling face out there playing, and he gives us energy, and he's a great player. So real excited to have Jauan, and, happy to see him out there on the field on Sunday.
To follow up, against Seattle, you don't have to that's one less position you have to worry about finding a way to fill, and production you have to worry about actually, someone who is accustomed to the system. That's what I mean by less stress. Do you feel that now that he's available?
Yeah, it definitely takes a little bit of a burden off, bringing guys up to speed, especially some of the new guys we have in who maybe would have played a bigger role had Jauan not been ready this week. But, Jauan's also, hasn't been out there in practice, so you're bringing him up to speed from a physical standpoint too. So, but yeah, it definitely takes some of the burden off those guys, but we're expecting contribution from those guys regardless. So, but to answer your question, yeah, it's definitely better. Yeah.
I'm curious to know, and you guys can leave it in the comments, how much do you expect Jauan Jennings to actually be participating in this game, right? Like, are you guys expecting him to really do anything out there? And if so, what are you expecting of him? Because I don't know that he's going to be contributing a whole lot. He hasn't been in practice, right? He's been kind of a missing cog out there, and a lot of people have worked hard to solidify that spot that he had basically relinquished, whether it be a real calf injury, which I don't necessarily think it was. But people worked all preseason and training camp to get that role. Do they just plug him right back in there? Is he that much better than the other guys? So that is something that we're going to have to pay a lot of attention to. Let me know how much you expect him to be used. Is he going to automatically be wide receiver 2? Or is he come back in and just be like a slot guy for us, and we run out there with 2 other guys? I don't know. It's going to be very interesting because Robinson, as of what I've heard, the latest, is still suspended. So I don't know that it got lessened or removed. So who's it going to be if not Jauan, right? I mean, they're putting a lot of trust in him and hoping that he was actually in shape. So we'll see how it goes. You guys let me know what you think in the comments.
Have you been in touch with the Seahawks offensive coordinator much?
A little bit. This week's been a little quiet, so we're giving each other our space and look forward to seeing him on Sunday. So,
I mean, going back to childhood, have you had many head-to-head battles?
This will be our 3rd time going against each other in the NFL. Obviously, nothing outside of that. So it's a really cool thing. It's a cool experience. It's pretty rare, so we treasure them for sure. But it's a little awkward during the week, but it'll be fun on Sunday.
Do you try and guess what he's going to do, or how do you play that mental game beforehand?
That's not my job. It's interesting that we're on the same sides of the ball, so we're really not competing against each other. That's for Coach Sala to figure out, and same for him. So, yeah.
What makes Mike McDonald?
And there is our first womp womp question. Are you going to try to guess what he does? They're both offensive. Man, stop it. Just, you tried to take advantage of the opportunity to have a follow-up question, but that wasn't a really well thought out question. They're not playing against each other. They're not playing against each other at all. So, all right, let's go ahead. Let's rewind it back a little bit just so you can hear the full question, and I'll shut up.
And same for him. So, yeah.
What makes Mike McDonald's scheme unique and effective?
I mean, they're really well coached. I mean, that's the biggest thing is whether it's unique is one. I mean, it's unique in that they're really well coached. The way all their coverages tie together, the blitzes tie together, it's a really coherent, cohesive scheme. And you can tell they're really well coached. You can tell they coach detail and they play very hard. They tackle. They do fundamentals well, but they also challenge you mentally and as a play caller, and they challenge you schematically. So it's definitely one of the best, hardest guys to go up against, and it's going to be a challenge.
Kyle called Christian a psycho in a good way. How would you describe his drive and his to get to this point now after his comeback and where he's at week one?
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't done anything we didn't know he was going to do. You know, he has that gene, whatever it is, where he is just so driven, and he's not going to be deterred from his goal. And it's been awesome to see him just start in the off season and just carry him through training camp to where he's at now. You know, and so it's just a lot of respect for Christian and how he takes care of himself, how he prepares, and whatever word you want to use. Yeah, he's unique in that way. So,
can you even quantify how much confidence he gives the staff and teammates?
Yeah, I mean, no, he gives everyone confidence. He's one of our leaders. He's one of our best players, and you know, when he's rolling and feeling good, you know, our team has a pretty good mindset.
He missed a lot of time earlier in the offseason, but since he returned, he hasn't really missed any time. How much has he improved during this span?
A lot. You know, he missed OTAs and he had the setback coming into camp. But since he came back, I don't think Ricky's missed a beat. And you can just see the growth. You see it in training camp every day. You saw it in the preseason game. And that's been huge for him. That's what he needed. He needed to string together weeks and stack practices to really start to grow as a player, and he's done that. And so he's given himself a great chance to have a good year. So I'm happy where Ricky's at.
I'm curious, how will the play calling kind of go on Sunday? Like, is Shanahan
Before we get to the play calling splits and all that, we know that Kubiak was the one calling plays in the preseason. But I think a good thing about Ricky Pearsall, something that you guys can leave in the comments here. Do you guys think Ricky Pearsall will have over 1,000 yards this year receiving? Let me know what you guys are thinking there. I'm just not sure where he's going to be as far as a receiver. So it's good to hear that he's got confidence and he's growing every single day. And we love hearing, you know, we've heard it incrementally from other people, right? Kyle Shanahan, Brock Purdy talked about how you could see him come on at the end of the year once he learned to stop wasting those steps. He was doing a lot of the college moves where you could shuffle and stutter step and all that stuff. And but you can't do all that in the pros. Get to your spot and get there on time. And at the end of the season, he really flourished in that role. Did he carry that momentum into it? So I thought that was a good question. Give me a Ricky Pearsall stat line in the comments when you watch this video.
Himself a great chance to have a good year. So I'm happy where Ricky's at.
I'm curious, how will the play calling kind of go on Sunday? Like, is Shanahan going to take the reins, and then how will you kind of chime in?
Yeah, and Kyle calls the plays. Obviously, I called him in the preseason. I had to, talk to the quarterbacks, but Kyle communicates to the quarterback. Play calling, it is collaborative in some regard. Like, we're always communicating. We're always suggesting things and giving ideas in certain situations, and Kyle does a great job of taking that information in and processing it and then letting that be whatever he wants to call. But so he's calling plays, but like always, it's a collaborative process between me, him, our O-line coach Chris, Brian Fleury, and anyone who kind of sees things as the game goes on.
Kind of follow up on that. I know at the college level, like adjustments have in-game adjustments have really changed because of technology. Like, how hard is it, and how has it changed since you kind of got into the league?
Since I've been in the league, it hasn't changed much. I mean, you have the pictures on the side, or the tablets to see kind of the pre-snap and post-snap of each play. So we kind of haven't gone beyond that in the NFL. We've talked about this before, but sometimes it's having too much information, too much video in between plays. It can cloud your mind with too much stuff. And the simplicity of the pictures, it's kind of what we know. It's kind of how we know how to make adjustments in games. So, I don't know any different way. So I'm not going to compare it to anything else. So.
George Kittle is almost 32 now. In the last couple seasons since you've been here, I mean, has there been any curiosity of like, okay, is this guy going to be the same? And have you noticed anything as far as slippage?
George is in good a shape, looks as good as he's ever looked to me, and that's a credit to him, for how he handles his off season, how he takes care of himself in the off season, during the season. He's a specimen in that way. I mean, he's really, to me, in the best shape he's ever been in as a player, and it just speaks to how he prepares, and it's really cool.
Established himself as a terrific scrambler. When you watch him run, do you think, man, we need to design some runs for him?
Brock can run. I don't want to reveal plans or anything, and we've had plays for Brock to design run. It depends on the scheme you're going against too. You do want to avoid quarterback getting hit. That's always a big part of it. But if we see something and we think there's a way to take advantage of it, we always try to. Doesn't mean it's going to get called, but we go into games with stuff for Brock.
Okay.
Great.
Thanks, Doug.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks. Have a good one.
All right, so that's going to do it for Kubiak. And next up is going to be quarterback Brock Purdy. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. That was actually not a bad one for Kubiak. He did say that Kyle's going to be the play caller, but it's a collaborative effort, and I think that's something that we all should make it a point to try to remember. So often we sit around and we try to assume that Kyle is the only guy making all the play calls, but hearing him even say that we also refer to our offensive line coach and the tight ends coach and all, like those guys also have input because their players are coming back to them and telling them, hey, the opponent is doing X, Y, and Z against me. So they all get some form of input, and I think that is absolutely fantastic. So I loved hearing that, loved reading that, and hopefully it carries on into the regular season. So we're gonna hear from Brock Purdy soon, all right? And once we do, that'll be it, and then I'll jump over to Kyle Shanahan after that, all right? So let me find where Brock Purdy is in this, and I'll bring him up, all right? Here we go. He should be coming on shortly.
Stadium and
went too far. Here we go.
Stadium, and you just got to be on top of your operation, breaking the huddle, being on the right cadence for us on offense, making sure guys hear the right calls in the huddle, all of that. It's a real part of the game, and it's something that you can't overlook. It doesn't matter how much success you had playing there. Every single game, every drive, it's there, and so we're definitely not overlooking that. And obviously, it's one of the best places and hardest places to play in the NFL.
Last time you faced this defense, they held you to 17 points at home. What makes them a good defense?
I think they do a good job of taking away explosives. Playing bend but don't break kind of defense, and making the quarterback check the ball down and be smart, and they want to try to get you to push the ball in certain areas, and then they play really tight coverage, and it's almost like you can't miss. You got to be pinpoint accurate as a quarterback. You got to run the ball really well. So just overall, they got a really good defense. They understand the scheme, all the guys playing in it, and I think McDonald calls a great game. Game after game last year, if you actually watch the film, like he calls a great game overall, just his coverages, and I think everything sort of ties together throughout the game for those guys and how they play in it. So good scheme, good players, and that's what you get.
What's it been like having Juwan back, and how does he look to you?
Yeah, it's been awesome. You know, obviously the energy that JJ brings and when he steps on the field and the dog mentality that he has, it's been great. And then dropping back and trusting in him to, you know, be where he needs to be and picking up where we left off, it's been great. So obviously having him back has been sweet, and trying to get him in the right matchups and getting the ball and you know, let him eat. So really excited, you know, that he's back for our team and obviously as a quarterback, having one of my starting receivers out there. So
How quickly can you get back to where you were before you went out with the injury?
I think it's been pretty smooth so far. You know, I think the practices that we've been together out in the field, we've honestly, like I said, picked up where we left off. You know, I think over time, over the last couple of practices, it's been really good. Just you know, talking about some routes and things and getting reps and throwing them some tight coverage balls and for him to come down with them. Like it's been really good reps and timing and things that we've gotten at practice so far. So obviously we have a couple more days to get ready for this game together, and we're going to continue to hone in on the details and be ready. But obviously he's been in this situation before where he comes back from an injury and he gets put right back in and he picks up and goes. So JJ is really good with that.
You've had success up in Seattle targeting George, as you have in most places, but I guess how tight is that combination of you and him right now? Because it's looked really good throughout camp, and how much can part of that be traced to you guys spending time out in the Nashville outskirts?
Yeah, it's been good. Obviously, I've had a great camp together, and just you know, I think just he understands our offense. I understand it, obviously, and for us to be able to go out and see the game the same way, and for him to be where he needs to be, and just the trust, the timing. I think we've gotten a lot of looks and reps together just over the years. And then obviously in the off season, yeah, we train together and stuff, which is great. But the minute we step out on that field, man, it's just us playing ball. And you know, two guys that absolutely love the game, and we're always talking about every rep and who needs to be where and what we both can be doing better. So the communication part of it has been huge for us. And then you see it, you know, on the field in the game. So obviously, hopefully, it doesn't matter where we're playing or anything. It's always, hey, you got to do your job, you know. And we've had success in Seattle together, yes, but every single game is different. And but more than anything, I trust 85, and I know he's going to continue to be the consistent tight end that we need and be where he's supposed to be. And I'm going to continue to throw him the ball.
You two have going this week, Iowa State.
We don't know yet. We've talked about a jersey or a helmet or something, but yeah, we got to finalize that. So, but come Saturday, man, Cyclones, baby.
For the fans out there who don't know, what is your nickname for Trent Williams, and kind of how did you give that to him?
My nickname for Trent Williams? Yeah. Or his for mine, or what? No, yours for his. What do I call him again? Oh, that, yeah. Yeah, no, I think when I said that in an interview, they were asking me about, you know, what's it like having Trent Williams block for you. So for me, I just said he's like my binky because, you know, I know my left side's good. You know, he's a Hall of Fame left tackle. So, but I don't know. I don't really call him that. I just call him T-Dub or bro or whatever. But so I don't really call him binky. But anyways, that's sort of where that came from. But he's a Hall of Fame offensive lineman blocker for me, and I'm very thankful for that. So.
Improvement level of having Christian back out there healthy and ready to go?
Oh, it's been awesome. Just going through camp, all the reps we've gotten, what he can do and what he brings to our offense, you know, running the ball, and then, you know, the defense not knowing if he's going to go out for a pass, and the element that brings to them and their scheme, like just all of it. It's been so nice having him and his leadership and everything. You could tell, like, the minute he steps on the field, like, everyone's on top of their stuff. Like, there's some kind of aura that he has every time he's out there. So having him back, man, there's nothing better.
Curiosity, does Binky have any correlation to the baby, and that's what keeps her quiet, and that's why it's like a safety thing?
Yeah, I think so. You know, when you know, you're in times of some chaos, you'd like a Binky, like for our baby, you give her the Binky and she's calm, and when Trent's out there blocking for me, I'm calm. So.
But I think you're 88% conversion when you do sneaks, short yardage, 1 yard or less since you became the starter. Do you guys consider that a form of the tush push? Do you not? Like, why is that so successful for you?
Yeah, I mean,
yardage, 1 yard or less since you 88% conversion when you do sneaks, short yardage, 1 yard or less since you became the starter. Do you guys consider that a form of the tush push? Do you not? Like, why is that so successful for you?
Yeah, I mean, the way we've run it, we do it a couple ways and stuff. It changes week to week, but obviously it's not, I don't think like Philly's tush push or anything, but for us it's, depending on the week and whatnot, we need a yard. How can we get the yard? So we're scheming up different ways, and it's not always that. There's a bunch of other different plays that come from that. So, like I said, it's different, but, our coaches do a really good job of understanding the scheme of the other defense that we're playing and how can we get a yard or whatever. So, but I think our short yardage has been pretty good over the years, and hopefully we can keep that up.
You consider yourself a dual threat?
I don't think so. I'd say pocket passer that, can escape and use his legs when he needs to. So
I'm giving a womp womp there on that question. Not the dual threat part, but do you consider that like the tush push? No, it's a quarterback sneak. Like, what are we doing here? I understand Philly plays today. I understand that everyone's really excited about football and all that, but the Eagles, while what they do is a little bit different than the rest of the league, a quarterback sneak is a quarterback sneak, right? They just do it out of a pistol formation, so to speak, and they have like people pushing behind the quarterback as well. But a quarterback sneak is a quarterback sneak. I hate that question. I hate that question asking other teams, oh, what do you think about the tush push and all that? Like, no, enough already. All right, like it's get over it. I'm sorry.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Oh, that was it. That was it. Okay. All right. So then, since that's it, what time is it here? The game starts in 15 minutes. So I'm going to wrap up. I will do the Kyle Shanahan one. I'll do that one tomorrow for you guys, okay? I'll do that tomorrow night for you guys. Right now, I want you guys to go out, enjoy some football, all right? The 49ers take the field in 4 days, guys. Actually, in 3 days. I don't even know why I said 4. It's Thursday already. The 49ers take the field very soon, and I'm really excited. A lot of positive things coming from this. I have a whole podcast planned around the Kyle Shanahan presser, so I'll do that one for you guys Friday early, and then I'll drop it Friday evening for the YouTube, all right? So shout out again to the Patreon community. You guys have been nothing but fantastic. I hope someone got a chance to enjoy this episode, all right? But that's going to do it for us now here at Nothing But Niners on the Patreon side. Thank you all for those of you who have subscribed. For those of you who are not subscribed yet, if you're watching this on the rewatch, make sure you guys head on over to patreon.com/NB9ERS. Bonus episodes, obviously. You get some early access to things as well. And in addition to that, you guys get to watch the games, man. You get to watch the games over here with us. So please make sure you are a part of all the fun and all the action, all right? Patreon.com/NB9ERS. That's going to do it for me right now. And I will talk to you all soon. Prepare for glory, anticipate pain, but always remain faithful. Peace.
We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all makes. Look at us dudes trying to prove, bringing you news with nothing to lose. Mike, Nick, Tony, Wayne, Method Man, we bring the pain. Hey, see, I'ma confess it. We under the pressure. If you looking to find us, them nothing but Niners. Niners. We nothing but Niners. We nothing but Niners. We nothing but. We them nothing but Niners.